It was essentially just showing like that accumulation of the small wins. That shit compounds.
Five habits that we would love for you to implement because they've definitely helped us.
Now, if I don't apply such thing in my life, I'm a fucking idiot.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bros Think Big podcast. This is a show where we talk about the simple and yet complicated ideas of self-improvement. Tune in and join us as we become the best versions of ourselves so you guys can too. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Now, I wanted to ask you guys, did you know that the quality of your life is decided by the quality of your habits? What is that? Yeah, isn't that news breaking? It's not. It's really not. It's as simple as it gets. Your habits is what define your character.
And people just don't look at it as deeply as you just said it.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're here. We're gonna break down the habits and what habits you need to build into and what habits you need to get rid of. The starters. Why? Well,
because this man, Dave Brailsford, changed everything when he became one of the coaches for the British cycling team. 1908, they only won one gold medal, and after he applied those little changes, that 1% improvement in every single thing that the team did, he won 178 world championships and 66 Olympic medals. Set a couple of world records too for the team. It's crazy. Like those small things.
Give me a couple examples of those small things.
So
habits.
Right. Those small
habits.
And look, some of them seem a little crazy too. People wouldn't think that.
But you gotta believe it.
Changes something. Yeah.
But you gotta believe it.
It's that 1%. It's not supposed to be anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip. He changed seats for more comfort for the cyclist because they usually go in long distances. He tested some of the fabrics in the wind tunnels because when the cyclists go fast and stuff, or they go up the mountains and stuff, it's windy and stuff, so they have to feel comfortable. He tested some of the massage gels for faster recovery, for the muscles and stuff. Riders wore electrically heated shorts to maintain ideal muscle temperature, so they don't get cramps and stuff in the middle of the race, whatever. And then the different type of pillows and mattresses for a best night's sleep for the recovery. And then the crazy one is he painted the team trucks white, so every dust and stuff that would get on the bikes and stuff, on new bikes, even the chains and stuff, he would notice it right away. So he would change it up or clean it off, whatever, for best performance.
So the point of that story isn't to show you what happened with the bikes. How did they even bring themselves up to that point? It's to show you that it's these such minor details. And we heard about this story through the book Atomic Habits, right?
Exactly.
By James
Check
Clear.
that out.
Absolutely must read. Sadula sent all of us 16 pages of that book.
It's like a canon event for self-improvement.
It really is, dude.
You gotta read Atomic Habits.
I'm 3 pages in of what the 16 you sent, and I'm probably gonna buy my own book after. I'm so serious. You have it, right? Hard copy? No, I'll just grab one of yours. But seriously, it's great. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because one of the first things he mentioned is this: these improvements were minor, but they gave me a sense of control over my life. The key word is supposed to be minor. Okay, massive success doesn't require massive actions. It never does.
He also said that too.
Yeah, and that's also another great thing. The key word is always going to be minor. You have to start small if you want to end up getting big. Little steps is what's going to bring the big progress.
You know what's crazy? That story that Sadul told about with the book is it reminds me of when I was in Hustlers University making like branding accounts for Instagram and stuff like that. One of the professors would always say that it's not, when they make these professional pages on Instagram, it's not just an overnight thing. They just know how to make one, right? It's little improvements over time with the bio. Maybe a change in the profile picture, maybe a change in the video that you do. It's those small changes create a good branded Instagram account. So you can apply that with everything else into life, those minor changes that you do.
Exactly.
It's the little people are trained to only see the overnight success, or that's what they deem it to be. That most people deemed this guy, I forget what his name is, as an overnight success, but it wasn't. The reason the bicyclist, the reason they made a professional thing is because it was one little thing, and it was every single day, consistent period amount of time.
And they had so many coaches before him, but he was the one that changed the team to such high performance, because he was the one that was applying those little stuff, 1%, because he understood the idea of what small habits can do. Because what a lot of people will do is they will try to improve their life or whatever they do by 1%, but they don't see the change because it's only 1%. It's not going to do anything in the short term. So what they do is they give up because they don't see the result, but they forget about the fact that it's being stored up in their inventory kind of thing, and then they will eventually use that skill.
One great analogy is doing your laundry or cleaning your room. Some people only do it like once every couple
Yeah.
months. And I fall victim to that, and it takes this one big leap of motivation, and you clean your room, but it doesn't change shit if you don't keep it clean.
Yeah.
So it's that same analogy. It's you're gonna clean the room, and then you're just gonna have to clean it again. There's no point of it. It's the gradual increase. That's what matters.
Yeah, there's a reason like
Remember
when
that from the book, right?
What the laundry? Of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
well, like when we try to start habits, it's difficult, right? To start a brand new thing. That's why I like these like small habits, right? I like to think of like let's think of like when you're skiing, like a mountain of like when you're skiing, right?
Yeah.
Think of the mountain as your brain. And every time you go down the same path, the grooves from the ski get left in the snow. Just the
Right.
same thing with your brain. So if you go down the same path every single time, right, those grooves will be deeper and deeper and deeper. So when you're trying to go down a different path, right, it's smooth, like a smooth brain, and you're not really used to it.
Right.
So it's like you really have to carve in those habits slowly over time
Exactly.
and work your way up.
Pave the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
And
what,
that's going to help other people too, What you did, then that's going to motivate them, or that's going to show them the way to do something because you already went through that path.
I wanted to bring up, and we mentioned this in our most recent episode too, with the porn addicts, drug addicts, porn addicts, whatever it may be. How do they most of them want to quit but fail ultimately? They decide that, oh, okay, so this addiction that I've been building up over a year, I'm just gonna all of a sudden stop.
Yeah.
Zero. I've been jerking off 30 times the past month. I'm gonna go to zero to the next month. No, it never works like that. It's an accumulation of small wins. So from 30 to 27, from 27 to 24, from
Right.
24 to 20, and et cetera, because that's all long-term success. It's really just an accumulation of the smaller wins. Those are the habits. Because what is success? The formula for it. It's consistency, hard work, and determination,
Right.
essentially. But what is consistency? Consistency is the habit. Because what is a habit? It's a repetitive behavior or routine that
Or an
happens
action, yeah.
automatically. So, like, a lot of people will struggle with consistency, and they'll say, I need more motivation. No, bro, you just need to develop some habits. So
Right.
start small. How else are you going to do it?
That's why, like, the thing is, like, social media likes to, like, put out this picture of, like, oh, yeah, just be consistent, just be disciplined. But what does that really even mean?
Who the fuck does
Like,
that help, dude? Especially a beginner who's trying to put their life together after they've been struggling with addiction A and then problem B. Like, who does that help, man? There's always got to be the smaller win.
It's like self-improvement body dysmorphia. Like, not actual body dysmorphia, but it's just, like, when you're not where you want to be, it's just because you see other people, like, they're where you want to be.
Right.
So you get, like, self-improvement body dysmorphia.
Nah, that's facts.
Yeah,
That's
Self-improvement dysmorphia.
insecurity
Some
type
shit like that.
Something like insecurity type shit. But that's I actually
Yeah.
love the way you put that.
Self-improvement dysmorphia.
That's literally exactly what that is, dude. And who is it that said the one? It was Martha Beck. She said, "How you do anything is how you do everything." So if you can start,
I think it's
by
how you do
develop-
one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah,
Is it?
same thing. Anything, one thing, same thing.
Yeah.
How you do
Yeah.
one
My
thing. I searched it up. It said anything, but I also thought it was one thing. Not the point. The point is once you build up that small habit. So making the bed, for example. You make the bed. You're probably gonna start to want to do similar, smaller habits. Your mom asks you to do a chore. You're gonna get it done right away, the same way you did with your bed. Or what's like a really, really small example?
Well,
Plank. You want to do a 30
yeah.
second plank. You're gonna do it right then, just because you did the same thing. Or a cold shower. It's really funny how it works. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah. You don't procrastinate anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The benefits are so clear and obvious, but why do people not follow it then? It's a simple term. There's a term for this. It's called the Plateau of Latent Potential. And what that means is you don't see the improvement right away, which is, again, kind of directed towards self-improvement.
Delayed
dysmorphia.
gratification.
Delayed gratification, yes. The one great analogy that the author of the book mentioned, and that kind of took it to heart, and it's so true. You change the degrees from 26 to 27, and you have an ice cube. Nothing happens to it. Change it to 27 to 28, nothing. 28, 29, 30, 31, Nothing happens to this ice cube. But when you turn it from 31 to 32, it starts melting. And yeah, that's such a great analogy of how you just do shit. You just do shit. You see nothing. You work out for a week. You see no results. Whatever it is, I can't. I'm blanking on what other example he used, if you recall.
Yeah, it was working
doesn't-
out. It was diet.
Dieting. You eat healthy for a week. Nothing happens. You're still gonna look the same. It's that plateau latent potential that people are so difficult to see past. And once you do, snap of the
Yeah.
finger. You're an overnight success, as they put it. But they don't
It's
realize
like it just doesn't
started
happen
from-
like that.
started from
Yeah,
a
it's
long
the
time ago.
It's the failure.
That's the problem.
It's the failure to realize that exactly what you said. Like, success does not fucking come overnight, and it never will. But if you can stay consistent and you can follow the philosophy of Kaizen, of becoming 1% better, that's how you're gonna ultimately see that progress. What is it? James said, or Clear said, that 1% better every day in a year is 37%.
No. You
Oh,
get
know,
you're
yeah,
talking from the book?
From the
Yeah, I
book,
have
from
that
the
written
board.
down.
Yeah,
He's got it. He can.
He said if you get 1% better each day for 1 year, you will end up 37 times better by the time you're done. And vice versa, if you get 1% worse each day for 1 year, you will nearly decline to 0. Like, way faster.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Like my video today, I mentioned this in the video, right? In 2022, I went from double-digit meditation sessions to triple-digit in 2023. And then when I missed today, I was like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a failure.
Right.
But it's just like, I wasn't really looking at the bigger picture. I wasn't coming out wide and looking at the actual, like, the wall that I built, the wall of China. Because the wall of China wasn't built overnight. It was built brick by brick every single day.
Exactly.
So,
that's my favorite part of the quote too. Like, that's all it takes, 1% a day for a year, and you make yourself better by 37 times. That brick, 1 day, every single fucking year, and you just 37 times X yourself.
You build a
Just
castle.
like, and there's the wall, straight up, just like that. And that's all it takes. And then the best part about that too is if you were to get 1% worse every day, you'd only end up 0.03%.
dude,
Worse.
I think
Isn't,
Hamza.
like, dude,
I watched one of Hamza's video recently.
0.03 times.
0.03 times. Sorry, that's what it was. Worse.
Hamza.
That's it.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good.
So Hamza was saying this actually, like, in one of his recent videos. He was saying how, like, people that our age, right, we won't see the difference between us and people our age until, like, we're 25, 26. And it's kind of with the ice cube thing, right? The degrees, changing degrees one by one, but when you get to that one, the
peak where it already starts to
exactly.
melt.
It's like you will see a difference between people your age in the future. So don't worry about it now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
those small changes that you take will be fruitful.
And
Exactly.
it stems from the
Latent potential. Habits.
There we go.
Habits.
There we go.
And I was like,
Kind of confused us there.
The
Yeah.
difference between us and
Like, that's what we're doing the episode about.
Yeah, facts. So there's so many habits out there that people try to do and they want to do, but today we have a couple habits that we want to give to the viewer, and we want to
What is it, like 5?
Five, right?
Five.
Yeah.
We got five.
five habits that we would love for you to implement because they've definitely helped us. And in 30, if you 37 times this in a year, I mean,
Right.
you'll see big changes. These are like minor changes too. It's not like some big overnight thing. You know what I mean? So,
Right. If you
Realistic,
stay
like,
consistent,
yes,
it's going to turn into a
exactly.
big one.
Like last episode, we gave you 3 quests. These are realistic quests that we're gonna and challenge
And
you
it
to
sure as
embark
shit
on.
will help you.
yeah.
Yo, I want to
Just
mention
don't
another
follow
thing
it.
he wrote, which was interesting.
Mhm.
He said, if you're flying from LA airport to New York, but then all you do is you adjust the 3.5 degrees, obviously the pilot, yeah, south, he will land in Washington, D.C. Like, that's such a minor change. And if he keeps it consistent like that, he will land completely at a different place.
Mhm.
Like, very far from New York, too.
He had a chart on one of
Which
the
was
books.
crazy,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah, he did.
off of that. It was the chart where it was
We're going to pull it up, guys.
Yeah,
Should
it's
make
gonna
it
be
a
on the screen.
sketch on
It
it.
was positivity compounds, outrage compounds, negativity compounds.
Yeah, yeah.
There, it was essentially just showing like that accumulation of the small wins. That shit compounds, and that's how the 37.
And if you actually look at the graph, improvement was going like this.
that,
but
yeah,
the
I know which
decline
one.
was
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
boom.
yeah. We'll pull that one up as
Yeah,
well.
and then at the point where it was already like turning is the point where people usually give up because they don't see the results. But all they need to do is just wait a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will see the change.
Yes.
And you have to pay attention to the changes too. I feel like people don't do that either. They get discouraged way too soon to the point where they don't look back and say, where was I when I started? Like, I'm definitely a little better. So that gives you a little hope that, say, a year ago you weren't as good. So that means a year later you're going to be even better. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's really consistency, bro.
Yeah, try to always think in the future. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm. The Hamza said something great about that.
All right, first habit. Let's go.
So first habit is gonna be tidiness. What does that mean? What does that mean? Tidiness.
Stay clean, bro.
How can we be more tidy? What's some examples? Making your bed, cleaning up after yourself,
Folding your clothes.
not being gross. You know what I mean? I was telling all these guys this before this, but I used
have a
to.
name.
What?
I have a name.
I was telling these guys this before the podcast. Well, but I used to sleep in my bed with my unfolded clean laundry, right? I wouldn't even fold it because I was so fucking lazy. I'd sleep in a bed with hoodies wrapped around my leg when I woke up.
That's wild.
Right?
Ugh.
And I'd fucking push clothes on the floor. Now they're dirty again. I have to go clean them again. It's like you said, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
If you make your bed in the morning, if you clean up after yourself, you will clean up in business. You clean up at the gym. What do you mean
Right.
clean up? What does that even mean?
Dude, when you wake up and you see all that mess, it's a psychological effect on you. And any research will show that. When you see that around you, you look at yourself as a messy person. So what you do, everything else outside of your house is going to be fucking messy. Like, I've met people who I walked in their house and their room is a mess. Everything else that they do, even at the practice or whatever, they're a mess. Everywhere they go, everywhere they step around, they're a mess. Other people's house, other people's car, they're a mess because they don't care. They haven't got their, like, I would say, like, life in order kind of thing. So what they do is, everywhere else they go, it's a mess. They're a mess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of this. Like, some people are probably going to be like, tidiness, I don't need to
Right.
worry about that. It's all about the habits. The habits. Build
Exactly.
a habit, because how you do one thing is how you do everything, and that's probably the most important part of self-improvement in general.
Yeah.
People would look at that and be like, "Is this gonna make me $1 million? Maybe."
Right, exactly.
'Cause
Honestly,
if you
yeah.
can't even
It will,
if you
it
can't even
will.
fucking make your bed, how can you even make $100? Right.
Right. Like, if you want to be a millionaire, think about it. You're going to have a big team. And leading people is so much harder and needs more organization than fucking folding your clothes and putting shoes in order and stuff. That kind of stuff. So you have to think about it that way. If you can't do that simple stuff, how are you going to tell somebody what to do?
Yeah,
Well,
like,
put in perspective. Do you want a mess? Hire someone who's messy.
Exactly.
No. You want to lead by example.
Right.
You don't want to be led by someone who doesn't make his bed, who comes in sloppy.
Right.
It's the little psychological perspectives that you could just switch your head to.
And if you're a leader of the team and you're not the one doing it, how are you going to expect your team to do it? Or are you going to
Exactly.
you're going to teach somebody else to do something that you don't even do yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah. Let's go.
Physical.
Oh yeah, as our grandpa did.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Physical movement. Yeah, I got it. No.
Never mind.
Increased movement. And by this, mostly physical, such as stretching, flexibility, and working out, of course. While the one that I really want to underline is stretching, because not enough people do this. You really need to take care of your body. The same way that you need to take care of your overall environment with your messiness, it all stems from the body too.
Right.
Sorry, I had something shit in my
You're good.
fucking throat.
A flexible body equates to a flexible mind.
Exactly.
Exactly. So when you stretch your body, though, let's really think about this, right? Even me and Josh were talking about this like a little bit earlier. Josh is having back problems. He wants to get into more stretching. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but
Yeah, back.
But
Right.
it's true.
but it's true. So why is stretching good? Why should you do it, right? In a couple of years,
Cramp?
Cramp almost. Yeah.
yeah, you need to
hamstring
fucking
cramps
stretch.
are the worst, bro.
So
Is that fake or is it?
No, it's so dead.
Wow.
speak of the
That's why I
devil,
stretch,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine you're 80 years old, right? You want to
Now
pick up
get
your
up and
you want to pick up your little great grandkid, but you can't because you haven't stretched all your life. You're fucking so stiff. You're about to break and snap. You're like a frozen rubber band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stretching is really good. And like a year from now, I started stretching like 2 months ago. I'd say a month and a half ago, and I've already see crazy improvements. Right? I feel like I can move. Right? I feel
smooth,
free.
yeah.
As a man, you want to be more free. You want freedom, right?
Yeah.
So stretching your body can allow you
Gives
to
you
live.
that physical.
It gives you
freedom.
that freedom to move more.
Right.
Well, I can tell you what
And
it
if
done
you-
for me.
Yeah.
I'm proudly. I used to play soccer and I didn't stretch for shit. I would stretch, but I never took it serious. Always had tight hips. My groin is always tight. My hamstrings are tight. I remember the one time I ever went to athletic director said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Your hamstrings are not normal." Like they were. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like I did not stretch.
Mine
Now-
are tight as
now,
shit
of course,
too.
I mean, I didn't fake that shit. Of course, my hammy's tight right now, but I dedicated in the morning to stretch every single morning, and of course, I still have my back problem. I'm still healing, but I have felt the effects to a degree. It doesn't hurt. What people don't realize is, especially with your back, it's tight muscles in your hip, tight muscles in your hamstrings are what makes your back so bad. Two worst injuries you can get is your back and your knee. All right.
No neck.
Take you. No, back in your knee.
Dude,
That's
neck?
the two things.
Oh,
I think
okay.
so. I think so. It's a personal opinion.
Yeah.
There's no. But I don't think I don't wish a back issue upon anybody in the world, no matter how much I dislike you. And I'm sure you don't want to have a back problem. So please stretch, for God's sake, of listen to someone's mistake.
Yeah, and I swear to God, dude, if someone is thinking in the comments right now talking about, well, I'm not an athlete, so I don't need to stretch. We're all fucking flesh and blood, okay? We all have joints, we all have bones. Just keep your body healthy. There's
All
no
those,
reason
like-
as to why you want what.
All those stiff bodybuilders out there.
Yeah,
God.
well, I don't
Dude,
play
some
any
of them can't
physical
even bring
sports.
their hand back to their back, which is wild.
Yeah, bro,
Like,
that's
they don't-
crazy. Touch your toes.
I just I forgot to
It's-
mention.
It's literally just.
It's not good for
What
your
does
muscles either.
weightlifting in any sport do? It makes your muscles tight. That's what makes flexing.
Stretching.
Stretching
Even
so
more.
valuable.
Yeah.
Is it reverses all the negative effects you're putting on your body.
Exactly.
So flexibility, stretching, add it to your routine. It's just another one of those little habits that's going to help you in the long term, help you push towards that best version of yourself that you always dreamed
For
to
real.
be.
Fuck's sake.
And it's just like, dude, it's
2
literally
minutes.
just
do 2
fucking
minutes.
3
1
minutes,
minute,
2
yeah.
minutes of stretching after
That's
your
all it
workout.
takes, bro.
And then it's literally just those 2 minute, 3 minute fucking small habits of discipline, and then that's gonna build into a further success.
Yeah.
If you want to be
I
successful,
started
you got to
stretching
stretch.
recently. I want to do splits now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go that far to do splits and be flexible as shit.
Good
Yeah.
luck with that, brother.
Because, dude, I told you guys I was at Fusion and I was hearing this guy. He was having a conversation with his friend, and he goes, "I never stretch and stuff," but he was like, "As I age and stuff, in the morning when I wake up, everything's like cracking now, and I just feel so stiff and stuff." And it's like I'm standing there, I'm hearing this right now. If I don't apply such thing in my life, I'm a fucking idiot. Because I literally heard it. I literally heard him say that when he was young, it wouldn't bother him because right now our audience is young, whatever. They don't need to stretch because they're already feeling good. Your body's able to recover fast. But as you age, your body is not capable of recovering as fast. So when I stand there and listen to him and I don't apply that to my life, well, I will have to go through same shit he's going through now. The stiffness, the uncomfortable crackness. It's not a pleasant feeling. So now I have two choices. I either apply it to my life, stretching, or I don't do it, and then I reach the same result he does. Maybe even worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, this is not the first time people were going to hear this. They hear it all the time. They just don't apply it because they just think they're a different breed. But
Oh, they don't need
people
to stretch, right?
Right.
It's because they're so fucking stubborn. Look, if you're not gonna stretch because you don't want to or whatever, please just do it for the habit. Just do it for the act of practicing
Right.
discipline and doing it when you don't want to, because that's what discipline ultimately
but you got to want
is.
the result
Exactly.
to do the habit.
You
Yeah,
should just do it practice it for the habit if you're gonna be this stubborn.
exactly. Start with the habit.
Number 3,
Whew, let's go.
smile.
Smile.
That's all it is.
Be happy.
Smile.
Spread
Straight
love.
up. If you follow this podcast, you know that it's no secret that we are the biggest people on positivity ever. I'm literally working on a clip right now with Fricker. The thing is, life is something where it's a game where you need to be an optimist, and everyone should know that by now. But I wanted to bring up this study that I found. This is a study done by
Yeah, this is
2018
mind blowing.
by Dr. Isha Gupta. This is a neurologist from IGEA, Brain and Spine. Basically, what he discovered is that a smile spurs a chemical reaction in the brain, releasing certain hormones, including dopamine and serotonin. To break it down, essentially that just means smiling literally tricks your brain into happiness, and which is also going to boost your overall health. So just by fucking smiling, you can trick your brain into being happy. Little things like that. Like whenever this is just one of those things
it's a signal that it sends throughout your mind and body. Yeah.
Exactly. Like this is one of those things that when I want you to think of it, just fucking do it. Whenever you think of the idea, or I heard him say this on the podcast once. Why don't I just give it a smile? The other day I was riding back I was taking a drive from school, and I thought about the time where I heard about this in the beginning, and this is what made me write it down for the first place. And I was in the car driving. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna smile for the next 5 minutes," and you literally feel the results.
Even when
Straight
you
up.
force yourself to smile, like if you're upset,
Yeah,
or
that's
you're
what you have
sad,
to
or
do.
you're
Yeah,
anxious,
yeah. That's
you
what you have to
force
do.
yourself
Force
to
yourself.
smile.
You force yourself, and it works. It works. It's through science too. Don't fucking talk to me. Talk to the neurologist.
Yeah.
I mean, you can talk to me because I've done it. I know it does work. But
Dude, and another thing that would be the
Just
best
smile.
is to look at yourself in a mirror or something, or like take a phone and like see yourself actually smiling and stuff. That I feel like that will trigger your mood even more because you're actually seeing yourself smile and
honestly,
all that kind of
that
stuff.
would make more sense too.
spreading love.
Don't do it when you're
Should I-
driving, but yeah.
I also want to mention just spreading love in general, like towards people, showing
Mhm,
love,
mhm.
showing respect to the elders, whatever. I feel like a lot of younger generation has lost that so much. They just think that like anybody that they see older or younger, whatever, they can just do whatever they want with them, and I just don't look at it the same way as other people, I guess. But I feel like you have to like respect older people. You know what I mean?
And
That's just how
others
I
in
was
general.
raised to.
Yeah,
That's just how I was
absolutely.
raised, and I feel like it's a right thing to do.
And others
Anyway,
in general.
Anywhere
absolutely.
you walk, just ask people how they're doing, how was their day.
Mm-hmm.
If you see somebody sad, smile at them, say hi, introduce yourself, whatever, go to them, hold the door for somebody. Simple stuff like that. It goes a long way because when you do it, then they do it. When they do it, somebody else sees them, they do it again. It's a circle, it's a loop that
What-
goes endless around the world.
what
And you
goes
can be the
around?
person to start it.
Imagine if everyone served each other,
Yeah.
right? We'd be in a totally different world, but everyone's like selfish and stuff. Everyone's in it for themselves.
And it's not something you can change overnight, just like how we said about the habits. But if you do it now, and then you can teach somebody else, that's already two people knowing it. And God knows how many people they can influence around the world or just around your area and stuff. That's literally all it takes, just one person, because it literally spreads everywhere. It's like a wildfire.
What
Dude,
goes
like,
around
good
comes
stuff,
around, dude.
yeah.
When I'm at work, I work at like a daycare right now, and I work with like pretty much all women. I smile regardless, even though I'm like in the kitchen by myself, like working, and it's like I don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
I smile regardless in front of all of them.
Right.
Like I put on a smile, like even if it's like to fake it, it's not really fake it. I want to like smile in front of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Show them. You know what I mean? I'm not like fucking miserable in the kitchen, but whatever. But you mean I smile regardless. You know what I mean? Just
That's
so
good.
other people, because I want to be like a pleasant person around people.
Yeah.
So I want to project myself on the
Right.
others.
And no
like
matter
that.
where you're in life, in a dark place or in a happy place, you're living a life. You know what I mean? Like you woke up that day. You have a life. It's a blessing. So enjoy it no matter what you go through. And obviously sometimes it's not that easy because if you're going through some hard shit, some people go through very very tough stuff, and it's very hard to implement positivity. But if you can do it, that can slowly shape your mood, shape your future into something more positive, and it's worth it.
It
It's so
absolutely
much
will.
worth
It absolutely will. And the same thing we said it before. I'm gonna say it again. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
You show that you smile towards the workers. You smile toward everyone else. You show respect to the elderly. You'll show respect to everyone else.
How many times are you gonna say that?
I'll say it every fucking time, dude.
Because
It's
it's
literally,
literally a habit.
applies to every single habit, dude.
I
That's the whole point of it.
I feel like I have a
first
habit
place.
of smiling, literally.
Me too.
Like,
I was born
literally
to
do.
give. Sash can say it. Eric from the gym. I've had 3 people come up to me and say, "Never take that away." And what makes it so
What did
great?
they
What
say?
I found that I just always smile when I
Oh.
talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's a gift I have.
I've gotten
So
that too.
what-
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, bro. what gift that provides is it's so hard for me to have a conversation where it's negative. When you come out and approach them with a smile and you're just happy, you could just feel the tone of the voices of each other, the type of conversation we're having. It's a whole different game. You're not going to talk about when I'm here smiling, when I'm here greeting you, we're not going to talk about what's going wrong with the world. No, we're going to have something about all the good things.
How can we make other
What?
people better? For
I know.
example,
And-
like this podcast.
It happens naturally. It's an unspoken thing when you smile. You're not going to
You
talk about.
shape your mind into a positive mind.
How many times have someone come up to me and told me a negative thing? So fucking rare. So fucking rare. Because I'm not like, yeah.
and you don't surround yourself around those people either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I say this a lot, but it is really about the frequency, bro. Like you vibrate on a frequency, you just distant yourself from it. You're not connected to it. It's like a magnet. You're the negative, they're positive, and it's just like, oh wait, no, negative and negative, or like positive and positive. This isn't to say a positive person or a negative person, but rather something that's different. It just doesn't attract.
Mm-hmm.
Even though negative separate, I mean, the
Yeah,
positive
no,
and
we-
negative
yeah,
attract.
yeah,
but
we get it.
you guys get the point.
Exactly.
Said it wrong, but
It's okay.
Number 4.
number 4, let's go.
Student mindset. You need to develop the habit of asking more questions. There's a famous saying where the guy said, the person, you'd have to be the idiot in the room. Then that idiot is the one that asks the questions, but the one that asks the questions is the one that leaves the room understanding better than anyone else. And there's a clip of this. I don't know if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but I forget who said it. But
You
that's-
just said it
that's-
really well. That's
yeah,
what I was
exactly.
like, yeah.
That's the whole point of the whole message. Once you
Yeah.
once you realize that you're a student in love of life, then you're never really gonna think that you know
Everything.
everything exactly, and that's what kills your ego. That's
You're
what
always
kills
going to be hungry
everything.
for new information, new stuff, new knowledge.
And that's
You're always
what
going to be developing. You're never
exactly.
going to be
That's literally exactly what I was about to say. That's what develops your character too. It's that habit of being able to of not having fear of asking more questions.
Yeah.
And really bettering yourself through that.
right. And that's why I love the saying, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a
There
bad
is no
question.
such-
Like,
yes.
if you
Yes.
already know something and
Really?
somebody's talking about it, you're not going to ask a question because you already know it. But if somebody's saying something that I don't know, obviously I'm going to ask it. It doesn't make it a bad or a stupid
Yes.
question.
Yes.
It's literally, I just don't know it. So how can that be a bad question? And dude, here's another thing. Jordan Peterson says this too. Here's an interesting fact about that. So many people don't know something, but they're afraid to ask it. That's the difference. And when somebody asks it, it's because they're just brave enough to ask the question out of everybody else. And guess what? They are most likely the person to leave the room knowing the most because they took that leap of
Exactly.
asking the question.
Exactly.
And it's actually so interesting how many people have the same questions in the room when somebody's doing a lecture or whatever. But dude, what are we doing?
Like, I don't know, Josh.
He's just looking at you. I
Like,
don't know why.
Josh is staring at
What
Saj.
happened?
What happened? Do you not remember, Saj? He's agreeing to your case.
I remember a lot of times. I swear, Josh sometimes
I
is
didn't mean
just
to
so
interrupt you,
autistic.
Sadhu,
No. It's fine.
No,
I just
no.
don't
No,
know
yeah,
why.
yeah,
He's
you're-
agreeing to you
First of
saying
all-
he's agreeing to saying there's no stupid act, no stupid questions, and all I vividly remember is 4 days ago, if I'm correct.
Oh,
Dude,
damn.
those
much-
receipts
so
are
much
crazy.
Hypocrisy.
Dude, so many times I tell Josh that the question is so fucking stupid. I'm so dead ass. I'm so dead ass. And then
Now you're gonna develop a habit.
That's just
of
my
don't
way.
say that.
Exactly. Yeah, see, honestly, that's the truth.
Dude, I
That's
remember
just
like
my way of
on the
insulting
podcast, you'd
motherfucker.
fucking. I remember like Dylan was on the podcast, and I'd ask him something.
Oh,
You'd be like,
yeah.
"Why the fuck would you ask him that?"
Like, what kind of question is that? Yeah.
Like
It's a
right
bad
next to
habit.
me in my
It's a
ear.
bad- no, but I can admire that what you're saying is true. And when I say that shit to you, that's just an insult. It's literally just an insult of me like questioning your fucking stupidity. Sometimes, God, if you knew the questions he asked me, you would understand why.
No,
I'm saying that.
no,
And then
there's
you're
no
right, there is
stupid
no-
question.
It's not
So
a stupid
don't
question.
don't,
So you
don't
learn.
tell him. I agree.
No, but it's true. I do agree.
No, but he can change.
I just
can
can't.
change.
I just hard to implement it when I'm dealing with someone like you, bro.
like you just
I'm
kept
sorry.
staring at him too. I was just looking at you to see how long you.
No,
could-
dude, I swear, if you guys knew the questions Josh asked me,
There's-
you'd
Dude,
understand
have you guys
one.
paid attention to who asks the hardest questions? It's the fucking kids. They ask the hardest questions ever sometimes because they're just so simple
How's
that
a
you don't pay
baby
attention
created?
to that kind of stuff. You
How's
know
a
what I mean?
baby created? That's a hard ass question to answer.
to a
well,
kid. Sex.
Still?
Like, what
Is
do
it
you-
still hard?
To a kid. How you
Oh,
break it
to a
down.
kid.
Yeah, how you
Oh, how do
break
you
it
break?
down.
Exactly. Like when they, yeah, it's those simple stuff that we know the answer to it, but sometimes we don't know how to answer it in a way that's understandable for somebody.
Exactly,
That's
it's
what
the
Einstein
delivery.
says.
Yeah.
What does he say? It's a quote. Einstein. He goes, "If you can explain something to a 5-year-old, you already know it. But if you can't," or he says it this way. He says, "If you can't explain something to a 5-year-old, you don't understand it."
Yeah.
And as simple as it gets. If you can't explain that to somebody in a simple term, you just don't know it. And it's
Yeah.
the truth. You might believe in it. You can act it out, which is so different than actually knowing what you're doing. It's a subconscious thing.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up too about like the whole like child, like when they asked like the crazy questions. When we were children, we were curious about everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, what's that new area in the backyard I've never been to?
Yeah.
Or like
What does that do?
what does this do?
Like,
What does
how
that
is
do?
it doing that?
That got like taken away from us as we grown up and
Yeah.
become more mature. But in reality, it's like those kids have the best thing at all. It's like the curiosity.
Yeah, you
like-
can never lose that. You shouldn't never lose
In
that.
school, they tell you learn this, this, and this. But I want to learn. No, shut the fuck up. You're gonna learn this, right?
But sometimes though, I've heard so many teachers say this though, and like literally, they say there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a bad question to people in class. But students still make fun of you for asking a question because they think they're so smart that they know everything, but in reality,
Yeah.
they don't know
nothing.
anything,
You don't
and
know.
they don't even ask questions either. They want to sit there and act like they know it, but in reality, when you ask them a question, because they didn't ask a question.
Exactly. It's the same fucking kid that would laugh about it. That if he was in the scenario where he didn't know,
Right.
he wouldn't ask the question. Whereas the person that did ask the question, who maybe was stupid or who realistically just didn't
Well,
have
they
the
name it
same
stupid,
knowledge.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it comes from
would
insecurity.
laugh. Exactly.
Because
It's
they're so
fucking
insecure
crazy
that they
how
don't know it,
works.
that when somebody asks it, they're like, oh, how could you ask that question as if they know it?
It's not. It's insecurity that they know that they can't ask a question in front of everyone else and look
That,
stupid.
yeah.
But
Right.
whereas this person could, because this person is the real, not a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I wanted to really quickly. You know why we're suppressed
Why?
from this curiosity? Because when we were a kid,
Philosophy.
we didn't believe in anything. We didn't have any core beliefs. We just always
Clean
wanted
slate.
to learn. Now, all we want to believe is we know everything. We know every goddamn fucking thing in this world, and that is the only difference from when we
Yeah.
were a child. That's the only difference. Is the idea that you think you know what you know. Because you read it in a textbook, because you heard it from your mommy, you heard it from your daddy, whatever it is. That's the
You ever
only
see that
difference.
like graph? I think Hormozy talked about it one time. It's like when you first learn something, you think you know it.
Sorry.
Stretch more.
This is wild, but Hormozy, like he talked about other people did too. But when you like learn something, you think you know it. That's like the peak where you think you know it all. But as you learn more about the topic, it goes down. You actually realize, oh, I don't really know that much.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of like, fuck, I actually don't know that much. And then you keep going and keep going. Then you actually start learning a little bit more about it. And then you just humble yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, there has been so many cases where I just argued with my parents, my brother, whatever, like people in general. And then next thing you know, a couple days later, I learn about it. And I'm like, they were right. Like that's you feel a little
But you can
ashamed
never tell
sometimes.
'em. You can never tell them.
Yeah.
Rule number one.
What?
Never tell your parents they were right. They were right.
What? Why not?
You
Let's
always
hear it. Let's hear the wisdom behind it. Why
yeah, but
not?
yeah, but if your parents were
That's just a
if your parents were always wrong, you would never listen to them.
Yeah. No, that was just a
He
joke.
said he
Okay,
just can't
my bad.
tell.
I always
Yeah.
argue with my mom.
No,
Told
nothing
her-
serious. Nothing
I always told her I was right. She was wrong, even when she was right.
Your mom, does that mean your mom's a wrong person?
No, I'm just always right.
Well, eventually, I mean, if you keep.
She could be right with me if she agrees with my takes.
Oh my fucking god.
What if you agree on hers?
She's right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, lost cause. GG's.
Maybe you need to learn that,
I
buddy.
think
Nah.
we should transition.
Maybe you need to watch the podcast.
Number 5, guys.
Number 5.
It's all your fault.
Straight up.
What?
It's all your
Now
fault.
people are gonna get butthurt about this, but it's true.
We had
So-
a clip where people did get butthurt about this. Now, I don't want you guys to take this too literally
Yeah,
because we're all living a very similar life, and we all
It's not
know
your
that
fucking fault, dude.
we all know that there are things that are outside of your control, and that's okay. There are going to be things, but when we say that it's all your fault, we want you to look at it through the mindset and the perspective
Yeah,
of this.
exactly.
Because if you were to believe that everything is your fault, you're gonna look back at whatever happened and you're gonna think, how can I reflect on this and how can I better myself off of this? That's solely the reason why. We don't want to hear anything about, well, I got this disease. That's not what we're like. We don't want it to be so literal. This is just how we're giving you the delivery of it. We want you to understand that if you can be accountable, even for things that weren't necessarily in your control, you're gonna most likely the next time a scenario is similar, you're going to handle it better. You're going to react to it better, and then that's going to drive you further.
I remember one comment was, "Oh, I got an F in my class. I couldn't do anything more." Do you remember someone said, "If I got my teacher's bad, I got a 50." Well, you're telling me if you didn't put all your goddamn fucking time into studying for this test, you want to get above a 50. Bullshit. So it is your fault.
It's just a lack of accountability.
It's like if you hate the life that you're living right now, it's all your fault. Like you put
Yeah.
yourself in that situation. The life that you live right now is all because of you. It's not because of your parents. It's not because of the school system. It's not because of all these fucking bullshit ass reasons. It's not because that girl left you. It's not because of all this bullshit. It's not because of your childhood trauma. It's because of you.
Right.
How do you react to
You
that?
gotta realize
Exactly.
that shit makes you free.
Yeah.
When you don't suppress your actions and fault them to others, and you follow yourself, that's when you become a free child. Sorry. I got mucus stuck in my mouth.
Maybe
Sorry.
because you're
Thank
laying
you.
down.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you. But that what you said was fucking perfect. Seriously.
Not me.
No, not you. Only Josh.
About being accountable and stuff.
That's literally exactly like because people are gonna go through really really tough times. We all are. It's how you can react. I don't know how the saying goes, but there's a saying. It's like life is 5% of what happens to you and 95% of how you react to it. But if you can make it 100%, if you can that 95% on how you react to it, the only way to really better that stuff is if you can understand to be more accountable, and through that will come you making smarter decisions when a
Right.
situation similar occurs.
So how does this being accountable tie in with habits? Because the habits make up pretty much your life, your
Yeah.
lifestyle, and you are the person who gets to do the habits. Therefore, you're the person. If you don't have a life that you want to live, it's because of the habits that you do, the things that you do.
Exactly.
So
That's self accountability right there.
exactly
Because you
So-
tell yourself that because you didn't follow this habit or whatever, it's your fault. If you were to follow a good habit, I'm gonna say this, a good habit, then you would see that maybe something in your future would be shaped a little different than how it is now. Because guess what? Maybe you followed a bad habit. That's why you're there. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody can distinguish between a bad habit and a good habit. It's that they want to be smart asses and be like, oh well, how is this a bad habit? It's
video
just a
games is
perspective.
okay.
Yeah,
It's okay for
exactly.
1 hour a day.
Yeah, but they don't look at it from a long perspective of how is that those 1 hour stacking is a wasted time if that's not what you want to do professionally. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
It's that accumulation of the small ones or even potentially the small losses that's
Yeah.
going to change your character.
Yeah. How can you be more accountable for your actions? You really just have to, it's just what?
No, I was gonna say mention the 2 minute rule. I feel like that would be good.
Yeah, try it. Let's go.
So, 2 minute rule, I recently learned this, and this is
Ugh.
just another act of discipline. Anytime there's a task,
It's
any
crazy.
singular time there's a task that takes under 2 minutes, you just do it instantly. And the reason why this ties in with being accountability is because for you to be accountable, it just requires a lot of self-realization. So if you can realize in the moment, okay, so there's this task, I'm just going to do it right now. Under 2 minutes, we'll get to it. And then that'll eventually build into longer tasks, like 30-minute tasks, 10-minute tasks, 1 hour tasks, and whatever else it may be. And then you'll start to realize through that those tasks branching off, okay, well, I did this, I'm going to take accountable. I didn't do this. Well, why didn't I do this? And then through the process of you asking that question, why didn't I do this? That's you being accountable right there. And then
Exactly.
you're saying, I need to do this better, and I will do this better. That's how you shift it. That's how you become better.
Every once in a while, I'd have this like a certain reflection. What I'd do is I'd write down everything that I'm doing good, and everything I can do I'm doing bad, and I can improve on. So it's like a whole list of good. I start off with good because we want to start off positive, right? If you start off with bad, you're just gonna be like, "Fuck, I'm a loser," right? So you want to start off with the good things, right? And then go into the things that you can improve on, that you are doing, that you're lacking in, and then just focus on those. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah,
Dude, I applied that quite a lot. Like I was teaching this to Georgie. Dude, I could not get him to do it, which was annoying me. So ready? we were making food at home a lot and stuff. So you know that wooden thing where you chop the stuff
Cutting
on?
board.
Yeah, cutting board. Yeah, exactly. So that would get dirty and stuff because you cut food on it. So I would tell him rinse it off with water so it's clean right away. Because I was saying if you leave it there, then those things are gonna like get hard on it, stay in it,
yeah.
and then you're gonna have to use way more like the
Product
scrubbing and
and
the
so-
soap and
exactly.
stuff. Like just do it. It only takes a couple seconds, dude. This man still wouldn't do it. So I literally had to like put it in his face and be like, "This is what it does," and I had to watch him and do it. Be like, okay, well, you rinsed it off. How much time did that save you? And then he would actually think back and reflect and be like, yeah, this is actually saving me time. Sometimes that's all it takes. You just need to look back and say, okay, doing this now, like, saved me so much more time than setting it back. And there are some situations where I'm like, if my mind tells me to, all right, you can do it later or do it tomorrow, I force myself to do it right at that moment just because I don't want to, I would say, like, fall victim to my mind for procrastinating something. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it now. If I need to take out trash, I'm like, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it 5 minutes. No, I'm gonna do it now because it's under 2 minutes. Well, if you run.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
The greatest part about that too is Georgie, when he realized that, he reflected on it
Right.
then and realizing, okay, fuck, I shouldn't have done this. Next time I'll do it. That's him being accountable right there.
Because
and
he was
that's all it
telling me, he
takes.
was trying to tell me, he's like, that's my own way of doing it.
Mhm.
But in reality, yes, it's your own way of doing it, but it saves you time and it's a disciplinary action too.
And some-
You clean
yeah.
up after yourself. You're not going to leave it there and make a mess.
Everyone has their way of doing
Yeah.
it, like things like that, but
Yeah.
there's always going to be a better way.
Exactly.
So it's just on
But
being
it's
honest
tidiness
with
too, you
yourself,
know, not
self-realization.
making a mess.
Exactly. Honesty, self-realization within yourself,
Right.
looking back on it, being able to reflect and say, yeah, I'm going to switch that up. I knew I couldn't have done a better, I knew I could have done a better job on it. That's all it takes to be accountable.
Exactly.
And if you can do that with small little tasks like that, just imagine what you can do with your future and your career. Because like I said, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah. And being in somebody's face all the time and be like, oh, you have to do this and that, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this from experience. But letting him actually do it himself
Yeah,
and then coming
yeah.
to a realization, that's the way he learned. He didn't learn from me being in his face all the time, even though that had an effect. But he learned that through doing it and realizing that it actually saves him time and it's a disciplinary action, keeps his surrounding areas clean.
And that's a necessary
Yeah.
requirement for being accountable or something,
Yeah.
is for you to fuck up. Then
Exactly.
because you can't reflect on something.
You can't
unless
know the good if you don't know the bad. You can't
Exactly.
know the
Like
bad
you're
if you don't
not
know the
really
good.
going to reflect on something that you did perfectly.
Yeah.
But if you fuck up, then you're going to look back to it and say, damn, why did I fuck up? Okay,
Exactly.
next, how can I do better? That's the step of
Yeah.
accountability. So you're going to learn the hard way a lot
Right.
of times. Embrace that. That's a part of progress.
Exactly. When you make a change, that's when you know
Yeah.
if it got better or worse.
Of the habit. Habits,
You-
habits, guys. That's all it is.
Cool. That was some good talk.
Yeah. For real.
Quote of the day. Quote of the fucking day.
What a fucking day.
Any closing statement, you guys?
Who wrote the quote?
I don't know.
Josh,
Dude.
Nico.
No. It was a
If I
picture.
find an
It was a
author for
picture
that,
of a comment. It was a picture of a comment. I was not gonna put down a comment. Username.
you know, if you
The
search it up,
username.
did you try searching it up on Google?
No, I did not.
Jesus.
Then you will find an author if you do
Alright.
that.
It gets easier every day. Every day it gets a little easier, but you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part.
Let's say that slowly.
Yeah.
It gets easier every day.
Every
Every
day
day it gets a
it's
little
easier.
easier, but you got to do it every
Every
day.
day.
That's the hard,
Hard
part.
part.
But
Ooh,
you got to
yeah.
do it every day. That's the hard part. Oh,
I
fuck.
love it. I love
That's
this
but you
quote.
got to do it every day.
This
That's
is
the hard part.
very good.
That's the
Yeah.
habit right there. But you got to do it every day. But like I said, it's gonna get a little easier as
The
time
only
goes on.
the only reason, the only way it's
small
gonna get
habits.
easier if you do it every day. But doing it every day is the hard part.
Exactly.
You can't tell me making your bed won't get easier after you do it 100 times. That's
Mhm.
bullshit. It's the
Dude,
hard
it's
part
that's
is to-
so fucking true. I started making my bed like probably a year ago, and it's so easy to do. Like I just do it.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's so mindless now that I just fucking make
It's
my
so
bed.
conscious.
Even like little things like that, dude. You learn like little tips and tricks as you go along with it. Just fucking-
Only if you did it every day.
only if you do it every day.
Every day.
And there might
I
be
used
days.
to has it
there
that
might
has
be
a
days-
habit. That's a tracker.
there
I'm a
might
habit
be-
tracker.
There might be days where you fuck up and you don't do it, but you look back at it and you be accountable with yourself.
Dude,
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You're gonna mess up.
I also want to mention one thing from the book that I read, from the same book, Atomic Habits. This is what the author said. How habits work in your mind is they're stored in subconscious mind. So when you do something so much, what happens is your mind switches that action into the subconscious mind, so that way your brain doesn't have to use that much energy anymore to consciously kind of track everything down, because it already automatically does it. It's kind of like your brain saving you energy from the energy that you use from your brain previously developing the habit. Do you guys know what I mean, or no? Is it confusing?
It's kind of like the snow mountain thing I kind of mentioned. It's like the grooves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Deepening
so you get
the grooves,
it.
and then in order to undeepen the grooves, you gotta let the snow pile don't go in the same path.
Yeah.
Let the
It's
snow
just a
pile, I like
mechanism
that,
in your
yeah.
brain, yeah. That's how habits are developed. That's
Mhm.
why they're so subconscious that when people have these habits, they don't even reflect back and say, how is this a bad habit? Because they don't look at it like that. It's a habit that's rooted in so deep that they don't think that it's something that's shaping their life,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whew. Shout out. Keep it up, gang. Y'all.
Guys.
Guys, keep it up, guys.
Oh,
Damn.
fuck.
Why was he so aggressive on
Keep
that?
it up, guys.
He has a name, by the way.
Y'all.
Oh.
Y'all
You're right.
are genuine with your podcast.
You're a solid
Y'all
team.
are a solid team. Thank you,
Ooh,
man. That's
thank
really
you.
heartfelt.
Appreciate that.
Astro
This is
Freeze
like-
Treats
Yeah,
on
it was a
YouTube.
very
Yeah,
nice
man.
one.
I
Yes,
felt
you
the
guys.
love. Did you
I
guys?
feel like
Thank
I
you, bro.
did,
Yeah.
man, like,
I
It
will
goes a
keep
long
it up.
way.
In
Yeah,
fact, I
that's
will keep it up
romantic.
as a habit.
Yeah, facts.
We
Spread
It's a
love.
habit
Yeah.
to be together.
And you, my friend, are genuine for even commenting that in the first place. So
Seriously,
thank you.
we need people like that.
No, you're solid.
Nah, I'm gonna keep saying.
Really? I feel like there
I'm
are
gonna
more
keep saying
people
that.
out there. They're just not commenting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. More people to just actually express a positive note.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Or
it every
just tell
time.
us some feedback.
What?
Give us some hard truth. Give us
Exactly,
some,
yeah.
give us
Some
something
love,
we can improve
give us
on.
some hate, give us whatever you want.
Don't give us hate. Give us some criticism.
Hate is criticism.
No,
it's
no,
not.
no,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not. No. Anyways,
No.
Constructive,
Who?
maybe.
If you look at criticism
No.
in a negative way, of course it's gonna be
Alright.
negative.
Yeah.
All right, that's our sign.
All right.
all right,
Think
guys,
big.
big, grow,
Grow
big,
big.
grow big.
Peace.